Let's get this started. We're going to talk about a new calculator and one that's going to make tower leaders, the guys who mega the towers, super duper happy. What prompted me to finally do this was we got into trouble with K150 where we waited to the last 30 minutes of time where they'd gone over 12 hours, so we had to do a straight 8-hour hold in order to beat them. And our kingdom, being as active as possible, was still sending spine breakers and mayhem marches, which wound up making the towers top heavy, and that makes you vulnerable to a good mega. So, what do we want to do? We want to make the tower stronger after every hit, not weaker. And to that end, we have the new one called Tower Topper. All right, it is exactly what it says. It is designed to top off towers. So I will go into Tower Topper and I will put in my March Cap. What it is now doing is it is reversing the loss rate. Okay? These formations are highly defensive, and as you can see, the even infantry is a little more heavily favored, but it's not. We're trying to overcome the uber brilliance of send one troop, send more infantry. Anyone who has ever said that out loud to their kingdom shouldn't be in charge of a KVK. All right. Or silly things like send 50% infantry. That is still the dumbest math I've ever seen. All right. Now, what was this thing doing? So you put in your full March Cap. You cannot set your tier troops. It's fixed at 10. Let's say you're a C22, 21st KVKs. All right. Just ignore the numbers up here. Okay, start with your T8s and start filling in. Okay, just go ahead and use the T8 numbers. If you got C26 through T27, then you got tier 9 or through 29. Then you've got tier 9s. Start there. Okay, just ignore the troops you don't have. This is not a critical balance. You are filling a hole. The point to this is so that you can spam every 2-3 minutes a march at the tower, not just you, but say 10 or 15 of your closest allies are spamming towards the tower. Similar marches in proportion. And when the tower takes hit, the heaviest losses get refilled properly. This is an attempt to stop the tower from becoming 1 or 2 troops saturated, and which usually happens by people thinking they're heroes, click button heroes, the gold spenders, when they rush 300,000 more troops into the tower, and they just top heavy it even worse. What's worse is they're no longer spreading the damage out amongst 15 players. They're putting it on 5 or 6 guys with improper marches. So you got people not making loot in KVK, which means your kingdom is not getting more stats and more damage as a kingdom whole. And you're more than likely pushing people out of playing the game and wondering why your kingdom's dying at the same time. So, now you notice I didn't put any 11s or 12s up in here. Your 11s and 12s tend to be mega leaders, okay? And by the time you get to a C35, you should be smart enough to say, okay, I've got to add some T11s to my things. I'm actually not doing it on my C35. I'm sending 10s and below. The 11s are a much better offensive troop, and so I'm not going to let them get hit in cannon fire and or random instant raids. I'm going to save those very expensive to build troops for what they're built for, which is killing somebody else. The calculation for the volume of troops is 1/6 of your March cap. How did I come up with that? Quite frankly, flat out guessed. I played with it a little bit in UAC. We talked about this during the UAC live chat on Saturday, late Saturday. It was early Sunday morning. If you want to be a part of the UAC live chats or the KVK live chats, then you need to click subscribe and hit the bell so that you know when I start them. I don't always do a regular set time for that. I try to, but I don't try it that hard. So this tower topper, guys, come over here to the forums and let me know how it's working for you. The point is spread this stuff out over 2, 3, 4 minutes, and then you won't be running out of troops. You won't have everything at the deal, and you won't be screwing up the tower's defense. You actually should be making it stronger. Because if you're using one of my formations up here, right, if you got T11s, you're using the Master Mayhem. If you got T10s, you're using the Spinebreaker 2. If you got T9s, you're using the Spinebreaker. Okay? If you got T8s, you should be using the Tower Topper and nothing else. You're there to support the kingdom. You want to get some points. You want to get some loot. Use the Tower Topper if you got T8s and below. You can't do much else. So be happy with where you're at and what you're doing. I do want to know how well it's working for you guys. We can't seek perfection because we are talking about trying to time 10, 15 random people in random kingdoms. But I would like to know what happens with your third hit. Okay, if you filled back up on hit 2, and then they hit you quickly in hit 3 before you filled back up for hit 3, I'd like to know how much damage you did, or if you actually defended on hit 3, because defending on hit 3 here lately has gotten very rare. The second hit usually is enough to kill somebody off, and we think the Tower Topper is going to be the fix for us to get past hit 2. We're playing with guys in the 4,000 stats, so, I mean, that are attacking us anyway. So, there's a little graph up there of how well you guys are doing. That's 196 people in 1 minute on the forums. I wish I could get YouTube to do 196 people in 1 minute. I wish YouTube had the volume of traffic that we have via the website. It doesn't. Where are we at? I haven't looked lately. We're approaching 9,000 registered users on the website. Guys, there is some great information going on the forums. You can ask a detailed question. You can put paragraphs. You can upload a screenshot of what you're talking about. All of which is helpful to you, helpful to us. We can see what you're saying, see what you're doing. I was like, oh, I'm doing this, and nothing's working worth a damn. What the hell? Or whatever we're thinking. So I want you guys to pay attention to hit 3 during your next KVK, and tell me how hit 3 is doing. If you're using the Tower Toppers and people are using it properly, you're going to have some problems with some of the Eastern Bloc nations language issues. Guys, just link. I made this as short as possible on the Tower Topper. You're going to have to link them and hopefully get past the language barrier to stop some of those guys from. They're the ones that like to send all the top tier troops, and the reason, it's not that they're dumb or anything like that. It's just the language barrier has always existed, and therefore for your Chinese and some of your Russians, they have never even been communicated to on whether or not on how to do this properly. One of the things people can do is if your English is your second language, and you're watching me, there is a place there where you can translate what my videos. Please do so. For into your language. It a little bit of your time will help out a lot of your countrymen. So, I don't. I mean, English is my second language too. I speak fluent redneck. I will have this video embedded into the top of this as well to kind of explain what it is we're looking for. Secondary goal for any of these tower defenses is to take the number of players from 6 and 7 all the way out to 15, so that we get that rally math damage reduction number that's based on the volume of players as much as it is the troops. All right, guys. So take heed. I appreciate it. Thank you.